Alright you guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the QMJ channel. This time we are doing a simulation for FIFA 19. Specifically, we are going to do a little bit of an experiment to put the teams from the Spfl Premiership into EFL League Two. We're going to do 10 years and we're going to see how it goes. And we're going to see what the Scottish teams, if we stick them straight into the fourth tier of, well, the third tier of the Football League, the fourth tier of the English structure, what would actually happen. So what we did was we took out the 12 teams with the lowest club value in England, and we just swapped them into the Scottish Premier League. It doesn't really matter what happens with them. As far as we're concerned, they're conference and we'll never see them again. So, just to run you through the League Two table as we've got right now. So obviously we've got Aberdeen, we've got Bury, Celtic, Cheltenham Town, Dundee, Exeter, Hamilton, Hearts, Hibs, Killie, Livingston, Mansfield Town, the MK Dons are still there. Motherwell, Newport County, Northampton, Oldham, Port Vale, Rangers, St Johnstone, St Mirren. Stevenage, who I've taken control of just because I expect, looking at what was there, that they are going to stick in League Two, and I kind of want to start this from League Two and we'll work up as the years go on. Swindon Town and Tranmere Rovers round out League Two. So simply what we're going to do is we're going to sim forward and we're going to see how the Scottish teams do. We'll get straight on to the end of year one. Alright, so we're at the end of season one. As you'd expect, the Scottish teams are dominating in League Two. Rangers won the league with 105 points. Celtic came second with 96 and Aberdeen third with 91. So those three will be in League One next season. The playoffs are between Motherwell, Hearts, Kilmarnock and the MK Dons. So there is still a possibility that an English team will get promoted. We will find out in a second. Missing out were Hibs, Dundee, St Johnstone, St Mirren. I am now controlling Hamilton because I was fired in the first season. So I just took the only job that was offered to me. I was fired from Stevenage, who finished bottom. The lowest ranked team was Livingston, who finished 20th. Let's find out the furthest Scottish team in the FA Cup. None got to the 5th round. Hibs got to the 4th round. They got knocked out by Aston Villa. And that's it. Jesus, right. So, in the League Cup, we got Celtic to round 4, knocked out by Stoke City from the Championship. And that was it as well. So, in fact, we'll check the Checkatrade Trophy. Bugger it. Let's find out what happened in the Checkatrade Trophy. Let's see if a Scottish team won that. The Checkatrade Trophy was won by Rangers, and they beat Hearts in the final. So, Hearts and Rangers both got to the semi-finals, winning, and they got to the final, which I assume would have been played at Wembley, and Rangers took that. So, we will move on to the end of Season 2, and we'll come back to you. Alright, we're here at the end of Season 2. Here's what's happened. Hibs have won League 2, closely followed by the MK Dons, who are the first English team to be promoted. Hearts finished 3rd, so they'll be automatically promoted as well, followed by Motherwell, St Johnstone, Coventry and Exeter, who have contested the playoffs. I forgot to mention last time, because I forgot to check it before we stopped recording, Kilmarnock won the playoffs in League 1, so we're going to find out who won the playoffs in League 2, and then we'll have a look at League 1 to see how the 4 Scottish teams got on. No, we won't apparently, because it will not tell us. We will find out next time who actually got promoted. Dundee finished 9th, we have St Mirren in 15th, we have Livingston in 20th again, and Hamilton came bottom. So, if there was a trapdoor, Hamilton would be relegated to the conference. League 1 looks like this. Celtic won it with 102 points, so they'll be in the Championship. Rangers came second with 97. They'll be joining them in the Championship. The other Scottish teams, Aberdeen came 10th, and Kilmarnock have stayed up. Checkatrade Trophy was won again by Rangers. They beat Sunderland in the final. They were the only teams to get, they were the only Scottish team to do absolutely anything in this tournament, to be honest. In the FA Cup again, it was only 4th round. Celtic drew with Norwich, so they must have lost the replay. And Rangers drew with Manchester United at home, which is a pretty good result, but must have lost the replay as well. We'll have a look. Celtic and Rangers both went out on penalties in round 4. Carabao Cup again, round 4. Celtic were knocked out again on penalties, this time by Derby County at home. And yes, they were the only Scottish team to get that far. So, we will wrap up year 2. Coventry City won League 2 to end year 3. They have been joined in League 1 next season by Dundee and Motherwell. The 4 playoff teams are all English teams, so we don't have to bother checking on that. The rest of the division, Livingston 13th, St Mirren 14th, and Hamilton came second bottom, and somehow I still haven't been fired. Alright, so it was St Johnstone who were promoted in the playoffs last year. None of the Scottish teams who are in League 1 did anything this year. So Hibs are 8th, Aberdeen are 9th, Hearts are 14th, Kilmarnock are 19th, and St Johnstone were relegated. So Not great for St Johnstone. They'll be back in League Two next season. Rangers came 6th in the Championship, so there is a possibility when we get to the next part that they will be in the Premier League if they won the playoffs. Celtic, on the other hand, came 11th. And that is it from the Championship. So we'll check back on that next season. We'll obviously have a check to see if Rangers won the playoffs. Checkatrade Trophy was won by Barnsley. Hearts got to the semi-final but lost to Barnsley. So no Scottish winner of that for the first time. In the FA Cup only, Rangers made it to the 4th round this time. They were knocked out by Man City. Everyone else was out by the 3rd round. And we had our first real run for a Scottish team. Rangers got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Absolutely smashed on aggregate by Everton, but no one else has got past round 4 of this so far, so I guess that's a good achievement for Rangers to get to the semi-final. We will check back next time to see if they won the playoffs, and in the meantime, let's go on to year 4. Right, we're at the end of year 4. The first piece of business is that Rangers did not win the playoffs, so they remained in the Championship. The top 7 of League Two is now of no interest to us. Doncaster, Shrewsbury, Bury, Accrington, Rochdale, Wickham and AFC Wimbledon. St Johnstone came 8th, Hamilton came 13th, so I haven't been sacked yet. St Mirren 16th, Livingston 18th. I think they've been in the bottom half every season, and that's really it from League Two. Alright, in League One, again, not much of interest for us at the top of the division. Aberdeen 7th, Hearts 8th, not good enough for a playoff place. And at the bottom, Hibs and Dundee have been relegated back to League Two. So it's not going well for the clubs outside of Glasgow so far in this game. Motherwell just survived and no more. Championship looks like this. We have neither of the Glasgow teams at the top. We have Rangers 15th and Celtic in 17th. So comfortably staying up. Well, 7 points Celtic stayed up by. Checkatrade Trophy was won by Kilmarnock of all teams on penalties over Walsall. They were the only Scottish team to make an area final, but they did the business. So well done to Kilmarnock there. In the FA Cup, we only had 2 teams make the 4th round. Dundee were plastered by Leicester City, and Celtic lost to Rotherham. Carabao Cup, we got Motherwell to the semi-final, plastered 5-1 by Leicester on aggregate. So Leicester really did the Scottish teams in here who even dared to have a run, but quite an amazing achievement for Motherwell to get all the way to the semi-final. They knocked out Spurs, so that's a fantastic result in round 4. Chelsea in round 2, so Motherwell had an absolute fairy tale run in the cup. But that's us for year 4. We'll get on to year 5 in a moment. Alright, end of year 5. Hibs won League 2, so they're going straight back up. There were 3 of the 4 playoff teams were Scottish teams, but I can spoil that because Hamilton, the team that I'm controlling, lost to Southend United in the playoff final. So the 3 Scottish teams missed out. We'll scroll through the rest of the division. Dundee 10th. We have Livingston in 18th. That's your lot there. So we'll move up to League 1. In League 1, again, not much interest at the top of the table. Hearts came 9th. Kilmarnock 13th. Aberdeen 18th. Motherwell in 20th. They were the last safe place. They stayed up by a point. So you'll take it. So Aberdeen definitely going in the wrong direction. In the Championship, mid-table, Rangers 10th, Celtic 13th, that's it. Checkatrade Trophy, Kilmarnock got to the final again. This time they lost it, unfortunately, to Bolton. In the Carabao Cup, Celtic got to the 4th round. They lost 2-1 at home at Burnley. Kilmarnock got to the 4th round as well. They're a bit of cup specialists in this game, but they did get beat 4-0 by Cardiff City. In the FA Cup, the best performance was by Celtic, getting to the quarterfinals, losing 2-0 at home at Aston Villa. So let's get on to year number 6. End of year 6, Livingston have come from absolutely nowhere to win League 2, so that's impressive. St Mirren are the only team who made the playoffs, so we will check the playoffs in a moment. Hamilton, the team I am controlling, came 8th. Dundee in 10th. St Johnstone in 23rd, so they would have been relegated to the conference. We'll check the playoff final, and it was won by Northampton, beat St Mirren in the final. And in League 1, again, no interest at the top of the league. Aberdeen are 9th. Motherwell are 12th. Hearts are 16th. Kilmarnock just survive in 20th place. And Hibs have been relegated again. So they are back in League 2. Absolutely nowhere as well. They are 11 points behind Mansfield. They are a full 18 points from safety. So a really disappointing season for Hibs. So the second time they've been relegated back to League 2. So let's see if they can bounce back in year 7. But before that, we will have a look at the Championship. Rangers come 9th in the Championship, and Celtic have been relegated back to League One, so that's a big shock. They are relegated on goal difference, but they will be back in League One next season, so we'll see how they do back down in the third tier. Checkatrade Trophy, we had two Scottish teams in the area finals, both losing. Aberdeen losing on penalties to Bury, St Mirren losing at the MK Dons, so none of them made the final. Alright, the FA Cup, the only team we've got in the fifth round are Rangers. They drew 1 each with Stoke City and then got banjoed in the replay. So, we'll check the Carabao Cup. And in the Carabao Cup, Motherwell, again, lost on penalties. Scottish teams continuously seem to lose on penalties in this sim. There's only one other Scottish team made it to the fourth round, and it's Hibs, who also lost on penalties. Alright, so the end of year 7, St Johnstone were saved by the fact that there isn't a conference in this game, and they have taken full advantage by finishing second in League Two. St Mirren are again fourth, so we'll see how they did in the playoffs. Dundee are sixth. They're also in the playoffs, so we've got a 50% chance of getting the Scottish team promoted. The rest of the league, we have Hamilton, who have still not fired me. They are 16th. And Hibs finished bottom of League Two. I have no idea what's happened to Hibs, but they have certainly had an adventure in this sim. So we'll check the playoff final. And in the League Two playoff final, it was neither of the Scottish teams who got there. So let's check the other divisions. League One, Celtic made no mistake after being relegated, coming second and going straight back up. Again, the rest of the Scottish teams in this division, though, aren't even threatening the playoffs. So we got Aberdeen in 10th, Hearts in 11th. We have Kilmarnock in 14th. They've been kind of settled there for a little while. Motherwell in 18th. Livingston went straight back down. In the Championship, Rangers were 16th, very safe from relegation, but nowhere close to their first season when they made the playoffs. So we'll check the cups. Checkatrade Trophy, no Scottish interest in the final, no Scottish interest in the area finals. Absolutely nothing done by the Scottish teams here, all knocked out in the area quarterfinals. Motherwell on penalties, Dundee on penalties, Hibs on penalties. We are terrible at penalties apparently. In the Carabao Cup, a couple of teams made it to the fourth round. Motherwell, who seem to be the cup specialists, losing 2-1 to Blackburn. Hibs, who had an absolutely atrocious season, but they did get to the fourth round. FA Cup, a bit of a nothing season from the Scottish teams. No one progressed further than round 4. Rangers were knocked out at home by Blackburn. Hearts were knocked out by the MK Dons. And that is it. So that's your lot for year 7. Alright, let's have a look at year 8 in League 2. I was actually sacked from Hamilton, and it seems to have worked out for them because they've been promoted. St Mirren, 1 place above them in second place, so we've got 2 teams going up. Playoffs, we have no interest in, there's no Scottish teams there. Dundee came 10th, and Livingston 17th, and Hibs 18th. When I was fired from Hamilton, the only job was Stevenage, so we're back where we started on that one. In League 1, Kilmarnock made the playoffs, so we're going to have to check on that one because it won't let us check the League 1 playoffs, so we're going to have to wait till next season to see how that one panned out. The rest of the division, Aberdeen 13th, Hearts 14th, they have really settled in as mid-table teams in League 1. Motherwell again in the bottom half, but don't get relegated. And St Johnstone, for the second time, have been relegated back to League 2. Championship, we have no interest at the top. Rangers finished 15th, so they are slowly sliding. And Celtic got relegated again on goal difference. They have gone down, then up, then back down, so they will be back in League 1 next season. Checkatrade Trophy, again, we have little interest, much like last season. We have Hamilton, are the only team who made it to the last 8, so nothing much going on there. Another nothing season in the FA Cup. The only team to make it to the 5th round were Rangers, losing 1-0 at home in Norwich. And to round out year 8, this was probably the most disappointing year in the Carabao Cup. Kilmarnock lost to Brighton in the 3rd round. St Mirren lost to Manchester United, so can't really criticise them for that. Hamilton took Man City all the way to penalties, but were beat because we always fucking lose on penalties. And Hearts, again, another team who lost on penalties. So, bit of a nothing year 8 apart from Celtic being relegated. So we'll get on to year 9 and we'll see if something surprising can happen. Maybe someone other than Celtic could be promoted to the Championship, and maybe Rangers could be promoted to the Premier League. We've got 2 seasons left to get a Scottish team into the Premier League. If it's going to be someone other than Rangers, it's going to need to be back-to-back promotions. Alright, so it's year 9. St Johnstone have been promoted back to League 1. They came 2nd. Again, no interest in the playoffs. Dundee narrowly missing out. The rest of the division looks as such. Livingston 16th, Hibs 20th, who have just not got their act together at all since getting relegated a couple of seasons ago. Alright, so Celtic came 5th. We have no idea what's happened to them in the playoffs. There's no way to check it either, so we'll find out next time in the last year if they actually got promoted through the playoffs. The rest of the division, Kilmarnock 9th, Aberdeen and Hearts, again mid-table, Motherwell 14th, again bottom half, and Hamilton and St Mirren rounded out the division and were both relegated to League Two for the last season. And Rangers keep slowly sliding. Luckily for them, Peterborough, Sheffield United and QPR got pretty much marooned in the bottom three there, but they came 19th. Not particularly impressive, so we're not going to have the Scottish team representing in the Premier League in the last season, and only Rangers and potentially Celtic, depending on how the playoffs went off, have even got a hope of getting there in year 10. We had Aberdeen win the Checkatrade Trophy. Go on, lads. Beat Hearts in the final as well. After the last couple of years, the Scottish teams have been doing nothing in this tournament. Glad to see a Scottish winner. They both knocked out English teams in their area final. Again, not much to talk about in the FA Cup. Round 4 was as far as the Scottish teams got. Aberdeen were knocked out by Millwall. And that's it. So Aberdeen were the only team to get to round 4. Carabao Cup, round 4 was the limit. Only Celtic got there, losing 3-2 at Brighton. So a bit of a nondescript year 9 for the Scottish teams. We will find out what's happening very shortly in the final year. Right, we've finally made it to year 10 and Dundee have rewarded us by getting promoted from League 2. They finished 3rd, so in the final season they have got themselves up into League 1, so good for them. No one else is particularly close. Hamilton 15th, Livingston 19th, St Mirren and Hibs would both be relegated to the conference. So Hibs, after a bright early start, have had a fucking disaster the last few years. Alright, so into League 1, as you can see that Celtic did not win the playoffs last year. I am going to sim forward and we will find out who won the playoffs between QPR, Celtic, Portsmouth and Kilmarnock, who finished 6th. So that'll appear on your screen now. Yay or boo. Aberdeen came 8th, Hearts came 9th, so they edged up from mid-table mediocrity to top half mediocrity. We have Motherwell surviving by the skin of their teeth, and for the umpteenth time, St Johnstone have been relegated. In the Championship, Rangers finished in 15th place, so no Scottish teams made it to the Premier League. There may be one last chance at a bit of glory. Let's check the cups. Right, no glory in the FA Cup. No one got past round 4. We've got Rangers losing 2-1 at home to West Brom, and they were literally the only team from Scotland who made it to round 4, so that's disappointing. And in the Carabao Cup, a fitting way to end. The team who got the furthest were Hearts. They did what every Scottish team seems to have done in this game. They lost on penalties. We will wrap this up just now. This has been a 10-year FIFA sim. I've got an idea of how we're going to do this a little bit differently in the future, but if you enjoyed, please like the video, share it around, please subscribe below. That would mean a massive amount to me. Thank you for watching. I have been QMJ and I will talk to you sometime.